It was the loudest thing any person or creature heard that night. Everyone looked to where it came from and saw that it was Stan. He was dressed in his Iron Standroid costume. He took his helmet off. The mean kids at school called him Stuttering Stan or Silent Stan, so he hardly ever talked at all, except around us, his pals. But tonight, he spoke to everyone for the very first time.
Stop. Just stop. The SNOMBIES are nobody's fault. It was an accident all the time. A little boy didn't have anyone that liked him, so he had to create one. I wish I could have created one for myself when I was getting picked on. Before, kids made fun of me, but now I have lots of friends that like me for who I am, and they're both humans and monsters. Not one of them care about the way I talk sometimes. We like each other, and we all should. The SNOMBIES aren't dangerous, just annoying. I have a plan to stop them.
Everyone had stopped what they were doing and started listening to him. All except one. That's when we heard someone laughing. It was a mean laugh. We all looked over and there was Mean Dean, pointing at Stan and laughing. He looked like lumpy, sour jello.
Did you hear the dummy? So, stop! That Dumbo can't even talk his words right!
The meanies were laughing right along with Dean now, but nobody else was. Not another human, not any monster. Before, they were all scared of each other. But now they all know that what Stan said was right and began to understand. Nobody was scared of each other now. Instead, they were all mad at Dean. That's when a tall, bulky figure came up and towered over Dean and socked him right on the nose. "My nose!" Dean shouted as he fell down. Then the meanies stopped laughing as they stood in the shadow of none other than our new pal, Frankenstein. You could almost feel the ground shake. Frankenstein looked down at Dean and said,
"You're a mean bully. Stan is my friend. You're not. You're all smaller than me, and I'm very strong. Go away!"
When he stomped his foot down, they all did just that. They ran so fast you'd think someone was giving away free chocolate and pizza. All of us human and monster kids put Stan and Frankenstein on our shoulders with shouts of hooray! Except old Frank was so big, I think someone may have shouted, "My back." Then something even better happened.
Franklin? Franklin!
Is that you, son? Is that really you?
Mama! Dad!
We put them down and found out that Franklinstein, the monster kid, was actually a boy from Sunset named Franklin that lived near the Troll Bridge. He didn't have anybody to play with, so one day he went swimming by himself in the lake and no one ever saw him again. His parents thought he had drowned because they never found his body. Their family didn't really know anyone, so they had no one to help them. Now they know he survived. His parents hugged him until finally asking,
But how can this be, son?
Where you been, Franklin?
I got lost and then got found by the little smart boy. Him.
Franklin pointed to a very nervous-looking lad scientist.
You saved our boy? Took care of him?
Well, yeah. You see, I didn't know he was a human boy. No. I was walking by the lake, by the Troll Bridge, and found the body, just lying there. It did not move, So I brought him home to the Castle Ladenstein. I've always wanted to create the life. So I put him in the Franklin shoes, the Franklin clothes, and was going to plug him into the monster maker when he sits up and shouts, "The friend!" And he gives me the hug and calls himself the Franklin. So I call him the Franklinstein, and yeah, we become the good bestie friends. I take care of the life I thought I created. Yeah.
Franklin's mom and dad came over with Franklin, and they all gave Lad such a big hug that his big old shiny egghead nearly burst. Then the alien ambassador for human-monster relations came up to Stan.
Stan, my name is Al Ian. I'm an alien from outer space, and this is my wife, Marcia, from the planet Mars. We all came to Earth with our pet Ripley to help build friendly relations between monsters and humans. From what we've just seen here, it looks like you children, monsters, and humans alike have just shown us how it can be done. For this, we thank you. Now, Stan, before you were so rudely interrupted, you had mentioned you had a plan to solve the Snombie invasion.
Yeah, Stan, your new nickname is now Stan the Man with a Plan. So what you got, pal?
Look!
Stan pointed past Trollbridge into Sunset, where there was a group of Snombies just watching us. Everyone gasped at first, but then noticed the Snombies weren't moving at all. Instead, they were very quiet, very happy, and very full of clothes. Stan lured them all into one place with as many clothes as he could carry, and they were just sitting there as happy as can be. His plan was to stop the Snombies by luring them into one area with clothes and leading them out of both towns as far away as possible so they could